Everything started as a dream and ended up in me actually being in the actual plane to Korea.
Bumping being hypnotized with her. Pray you get that job in time for. That's only 4 hours away. Take a car, take a plane, baby, whichever is faster. Whichever.
Hi guys, and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, hello mtagasis. If you're a returning subscriber, hlala kwi front row mtagasis. Hlala kwi front row when you are family in this house. Again, this is more like a story time type of vibes. Story time process of how I moved to South Korea. So you're gonna get a bit of a story, and which is inclusive of how I actually did the process. Okay, basically everything started as a dream and ended up in me actually being in the actual plane to Korea. And throughout that moment, I only started realizing that I actually did this when I landed in Incheon. So this is story time / the process of how I got to South Korea. Everything started back in 2022, where I was doing my final year in UKZN. I started doing research on things I could do in other countries. Started like watching other YouTubers who are abroad. Initially, I was looking at 2 countries. I was looking at China and I was looking at Korea. Why those 2 countries? Because there was something that I fell in love with that I thought was something I wanted to do in those countries, which was being an ESL teacher. Back in 2022, I did my TEFL certificate, which was actually free. I did not pay anything. I did my TEFL certificate at teacher records. I did not pay anything, basically. But because of the financial side of the whole process, I couldn't do the process. And I also thought that maybe it wasn't something I wanted to do. So I did my second degree, which was LLB. My first degree was philosophy, politics, and law. Then my second degree was LLB. During my LLB, everything went south. When I say depression and anxiety is a real thing, I mean it's a real thing. I fell into depression, I fell into anxiety. It was more like I was a dead walking person. Like, even if you were to ask my best friend, she would tell you that you were just a dead walking person. I never found fulfillment. I was forever depressed. I didn't even know if I liked what I was doing at the time. I was just, a lot was happening. And 2024, I revisit back the dream of wanting to move abroad. Not because I wanted to, but because of the circumstance I was facing at that time. Then this time around, we started again doing research. 2024, towards the end of the year, which was October. Called my family. I actually texted my mom and told her that I think I want to move abroad. And she was like, oh, we will talk about this when you come back. And luckily that weekend I was going home. I went home. I had a meeting with my mom. If you know me, you know that I will sit down with you and actually lay the good side and the bad side, and actually discuss with you, would say this is why I took this decision. Nan. So I did that with my mom. Luckily, it was my mom and her friend. We talked through and she was okay with the whole thing, and she was like, okay, if you want to do it, then fine. And if you know my mom is a person who's very supportive in terms of when you say you want to do something, she does not stop you or hinder you from doing that thing. She actually supports you in like, okay, you can do whatever you want to do. She does not actually have a routine of some sort. With my mom, when you say I want to do this and you are like showing determination that you want to do this, she's actually like, okay, you can do that, sharp. Then the very same weekend I went to see my grandma. If you know me, you know how much I'm very close to my grandma. She is literally my entire, I don't know what, but she's my entire world. She's my best friend. She's my mother, my father, my aunt, she's predominantly everything. So the same weekend I went to see my grandma, told her about the thing, and she was like, I'm not quite sure about this, but if you're saying you want to do it, sharp ne. And I think at that time in her mind, she thought I was going to change my mind. I think there was a chance of okay, fast forward December, told my family we had to move out of rest, and I was like, I'm not gonna put my things in storage. I'm taking everything with me. I want to show them how serious I was. And my mom's friend was like, okay, I'll come and get you, no problem. Took everything, didn't leave anything that belonged to me at rest. Went back home. When I went back home, my mom was like, do your passport. If you say you want to move abroad, you need to have a passport. And I don't wanna lie, she has been telling me for a very long time to actually get my passport. Then I started doing my passport December. After that, I did my passport and my fingerprints during December. I think yes, in December I did those two. After doing my passport and my fingerprints, I started sending an email for SAQA verification quotation. They quoted me 650. My passport costed 600, and my fingerprints costed me 180. My SAQA quotation price was 650. Okay, now that was done, out of the way. I also had to do what did I have to do? I had to take my things to DERCO, where at DERCO I think it's more like a place where they authenticate your documents, that they are legit and everything, and gives you permission to actually be able to go and work in a country which is outside of South Africa, basically. So there I did not pay anything. It was free, but I had to give my friend transportation money, and I'll forever be grateful to my friend. She has always been someone who actually pulled through for me. Like, she has always played a very vital role, and I know if she watches this vlog, I know she knows herself, which I am very grateful of. Yeah, I love that girl. I'll forever be grateful to having her in my life. I'll forever be grateful. I'm really, really grateful to having her as a friend. Okay, fast forward, she took my things to DERCO and post them back to me. I started taking my professional picture and my introduction video. When I'm saying professional picture. I don't mean you have to go to a photographer and actually pay expense. No, take your phone, wear your shirt, your white shirt, tie up your hair nicely, ube muhle, ube right, and take a photo. After taking a photo and my introduction video started applying in May. No, not May. In March. Yes. Which, if you know the ESL industry, around March, Korea and China isuka dithatha ngo February, meaning ukuthi the intake for summer, if I'm not mistaken, has passed. But then I went through the Hagwon way. So in Korea there are two options. There is a Hagwon option and an Epic option. I am going to make a separate video for that. So I went through the Hagwon way. March I started applying. March, April, May, nothing. No response. Recruiters quiet. Everything quiet. And I don't want to lie to you, this process is mentally draining. For me, at least, it was mentally draining, emotionally draining. Yeah, around August, around May, so the website I used to apply was Dave ESL. So I don't know of any other website besides that. I predominantly used that website, and I got my school through that website. I applied directly to the school, just in case you're wondering if did she use a recruiter. I applied directly to a school, meaning it was just gonna be me and the school. There was no third party that was gonna explain things to me. It was just me and the school. That's it. I know it sounds easier when I'm explaining it, but there is a mental roller coaster that you endure because of the schools not replying, because of the recruiters not replying. It's a roller coaster. Like, I don't want to lie to you, it's not an easy process. It's not. So after me getting a school, I had 2 interviews with the same school. The first interview was the actual interview that we had. Then the second interview was actually them saying that we are going to give you a contract. I think they sent a contract, my contract, and E2 application form for this side, for Korea. They sent me those 2 forms. I had to fill them out and send them back. After sending them back, I had to send my original documents. When I say original documents, I don't mean you are taking your original degree certificate. No, I am saying you are taking the documents that you got from DERCO and sending them this side. I sent them. I used DLH. I used DLH, and it was 950. After that, I had to now like actually quit my job that I was doing and actually start thinking that we are actually moving this side. I quit my job, but I was still staying in Durban. Had to do everything that I had to do around me. I was waiting for even Nambayami, which took 3 weeks and an additional 1 week, because after waiting for 3 weeks, we realized that my school sent the wrong documents. After that, we started waiting again for an entire week. Then I had to go back because I'm one person who was like, I want to spend as much time with my family. If I'm going, I need to spend time with them, and I did. I don't wanna lie. Nanoguti, at the back of my mind, it wasn't even doubts. I was just you know, when you're like, I can't believe that this is happening. Like, you're just like, I can't believe that this is happening, more especially for a person like me. I don't believe that. However, I will forever be grateful to my grandma and usiskama umbali. Still remember, they made, weeks before I had to go, they did eat goodbye braai. We had braai, and yeah, and they stood by me, because there was a time where emotionally I was just, being a person who had like faced depression and anxiety, I went back to that state where I was just like, okay. But they were there this time. They were there. They held me. They prayed for me. They were there. When I tell you, Umbali called me each and every day. Like, I'm not even joking. She was checking up each and every day, wanting to know, how are you feeling? Oh, when everything that was happening, it was during the time where I was waiting for my visa. So if visa, I paid 1,080, and I also had to pay for an agent to actually take my documents to a embassy. Because Postnet, when I went to Postnet, they told me that they do not deliver izinto ezino cash, rather bona ukuthi uyisubmitha kanjani leyo nto. So I got this agent through a person who had already been in Korea. Ngahambisa kanjalo izinto zami zenziwa zabuya, and my visa was okay and everything. And now I started having an anxiety yokuthi kumele ngithenge izinto, kumele ngenzeni. At that time I was so stressed. Everything that was happening, I was happy, but at the same time I was very stressed to the fact that I am moving to a new country. I'm not just moving to a new province, but I'm moving to a new country. I was very stressed. I know ekhaya ngangibukeka ngathi, but nothing in me was happy, because I was just like, I'm no longer gonna see my siblings kamaholidi nanani. Yeah, but yeah, started packing, started buying suitcases, started doing everything. I spent about 30,000, not even about, plus 30,000 for this process alone. 30,000 included me buying spices, things I'm gonna use this side, the plane ticket, the traveling, everything. So it amounted to 30,000+ G. The process alone, G, and everything. 30,000 is inclusive of surviving on the first month. Gee, so yeah, that's how much I used. And one thing that my community did for me, and I'm so grateful, was something I wasn't expecting, because I still remember the day before I had to go, that was the only time I started telling people I was leaving. Not because I didn't want them to know, but because of how stressful the process had been for me. So I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna tell them the day before. And what they did, omakhelwane wami came to pray for me, abanye bangipha imali. Nje, it was a very evident thing of, yabona into lethu umuntu ngumuntu ngabantu. For me, that played out. And throughout the journey, I was just like, I see God in all of this. I see how God has actually held me by my hand. I see God actually in everything. Because I still remember when I was doing this research, and I was so stressed, I was so all over the place. There was this Bible verse, I think it is First Chronicles, if I'm not mistaken, but where there is Ujabeza, the Bible says that Jabeza cried to the Lord, and he said that, "Oh Lord, that you may bless me, that you may never remove your hand upon me, and that you may enlarge my territories." And the Bible says immediately God answered his prayer, and lelo verse still holds me grounded till today, because I'm just like, Nami, there was a time where I was like, "Oh Lord, that you may hear my prayers, that you may enlarge my territories, that your hand may never be removed from me." And actually God granted me that. And with that, I know that whenever people speak about God, they only show the results, but Mina, I'm just like, I am where I am because of God. I am who I am because of God. And I don't wanna lie, guys, I've seen God playing a huge role in my life. I have seen God playing the most important role in my life, and I'll forever be God's advocate. To no, I really saw God in my journey from coming from South Africa to Korea. So if now when you see yourself, or you are planning to actually do the same process, my first advice is invite God. My second advice is do your research. My third advice is, pray mfana, pray. I pray, save up. My last, save up, because you're gonna need imali. With that being said, thank you for actually listening to me yapping, and thank you for actually coming back and actually watching till this far. If you have any question, feel free to leave them in the comment section. J, I am here. J. Until our next video, for now, bye bye mtaka sis, izobonana on our next video. Bye.